Well, welcome everybody. We're day 13. As I told you, I was going to eat dinner, and we're going to put this together. It's a little late tonight. I kind of waited probably around 10 o'clock or 10:30 or so. But we're going to go ahead and at least start to fit this up. I'm not sure I'll get it glued tonight, but I will get it fit up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this all apart, because we need to be able to lay this fuselage flat upside down on a piece of glass. I'll take the motor out of it. Coming out real nice. No complaints so far. For junk wood, it's going to be a light airplane. Okay, motor's out of it. And we're going to cut the bottom off of it. It's just tacked on. I'm not sure how much I'll edit up of this video. We don't want to be bored to death. Very light, 7 grams. Okay, we got the fuselage prepared. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw some center lines on this. If I do it lengthways, I can do the whole airplane. The whole airplane laying flat on the table. See, are we flat on the table? What's going on here? Oh, I see what the problem is. I'll just take that off. What is going on here? We got some epoxy on top of that bearer. We have to make sure to get this flat on the table, so clean up any of the glue or anything that might hold it up off the glass. Where is it? It's right there. Yeah. We have some epoxy on top there that just is stubborn. definitely don't want any incidents. There we go. A little more. This is the most important part, is it has to lay flat on the glass. I had glue build up on top of the engine bearers, and that was allowing the fuselage to rock on the glass. Okay, that's good. Now, what I've done is I put a former across the two sides, top and bottom, because I'm going to split this fuselage here, and I didn't want it to lose its shape, because we're going to plug the front and the back half in. Now, I'm going to have to sand and fit this opening to the wing, unless I was good in it and it fits right in, but it's looking like the trailing edge is at least going to need to be opened up a little bit, but we'll see. So let's get some lines drawn, and then we'll cut it open and lay it out. Okay. Now it doesn't matter where you draw the line in position to the table, because this glass is cut square, so just approximate in the center. I've showed this on my Monado build, but I think it's worth showing again. That's the fuselage center line. Now, because this is a shorter fuselage than a PA ship, this building table is big enough that we're going to do the elevator, or the stabilizer and wing, all in one position, one setting. And I have to do that anyway because of the way that the push rod has to be installed. So now I'll just approximate. I have center lines marked on the formers inside. We got it on the center lines. And I'll be cutting some balsa wood triangles to hold this fuselage in place, but I just want to get a line on here of where the trailing edges are. So I take my square, combination square, have it. We have it all the way up. And we're going to mark it. That's the trailing edge there. And that's the trailing edge there. I'm sorry that the camera is not able to move or whatever as I'm moving, but I just can't be in two places at once. If somebody like to come here and be a cameraman, that'd be great. So now we draw a line in the two places perpendicular. This is the trailing edge of the wing and the trailing edge of the stabilizer. And this is about the easiest way I've found to do this and get it right. And that's it. We're done with the square. I'll be taking some of my scrap wood that I have. This is RC wood. It's very heavy. I use some of it in this Monado build as the doublers, but 6 inches wide. So we're going to cut up make some squares. So every 6 inches we'll cut it off. Make a mark. What we have here now is 690s. I know you don't see it yet, but you will. And what I do to make sure that we have the right end down is I take a pen and I just corner. That tells you that's the 90. That's 2. That's 4. That's 6. We're going to be gluing these to the glass. We need a few more. We'll just cut up the whole piece. It's not good for anything else. Good to make some crates out of, maybe. Or doublers. Getting a lot of good feedback on this side. I'm hoping that it helps you. "13 days in and we're putting it together. If I work hard on it, if I stayed up tonight, I don't think I'm going to though. I'm kind of burnt out after a couple of weeks. Now this one's going to be a problem. The cut was off, so I'll have to square that up. Blade's getting dull. So now we have 12 triangle pieces. Now these are made out of 6-inch wide stock, but you can make them out of 3-inch or scrap wood or whatever you got laying around the shop. This was wood that was given to me when Art Schaefer died. He gave me a bunch of this stuff. And I've been slowly using it up as templates and things like that. Not sure how long this is going to take to do, so it might be a couple of videos. I don't want to make the videos any longer than an hour so we can index it. Okay, here we have all these triangles. We got 12 triangles, and what we're going to do with these is we're going to hold our work, tack them onto the glass. That's why I like glass. You can cut these off and scrape off the glass and do it again. Got my kicker, because sometimes you need kicker. So the first thing is we're going to get the nose positioned on the line. Like I said, I've already had them marked. We will tack glue this up here like so. Well, that's It's a nice fuselage. I mean, I did it, had it pretty square. Now we come back to the tail. Make sure it's on the line. All the marks are on the line. Yep. I'm going to have to pick this out of the jig because I'm going to have to cut it open in order to get that wing in there. I think I'm going to have to just do it on the tail back here because I'm going to have to set that back on. As I've stated before, you can do this any way you like. This is just one way that I've developed over the years. It works. I have one friend who does it just solely by eye. And if that works for you, knock yourself out. Okay, fuselage's jig. Now, we're going to have to cut it open and make sure these pieces fit on the wing. So right at the split here, the high point of the wing, I'm going to cut it open. Top and bottom. Get this off. Now normally this is not done this way, but after doing a couple of them this way, I like it. Careful. Okay, front and back of the fuselage have been separated. Hopefully this will all fit together. I'm going to have to remove the flaps. I'm not sure I can do this with the horn on it even. I cannot have it attached. I can see that already. Okay, let's see if the parts fit together now, and if they don't, we have to sand and fit them accordingly. And they don't. So we're going to have to sand these doublers away. I'm going to cut the camera until I get these parts fit, because it could take several hours to do that. I don't want to bore you with watching me sand, so we'll be back after I get all these parts fit. Well, it took all night to it took till 2 o'clock in the morning to get all the parts fit, so I didn't glue the wing in. So today is day 14, running a day behind. It should be on its wheels today, but we're just gluing it together. Still possibly I could bend the landing gear up and get it on its wheels, but we're not going to worry about it if we're a day behind. So first thing we did was I fit all the pieces, got them to fit perfectly together. I had to take the Dremel tool and open up the motor mount area. Now I'm looking for a acid brush. Here we go. So we're going to mix up some 15-minute epoxy, and we only have 15 minutes to get it together, so this tape will last approximately 15 minutes on the jigging. So I've got my mixing cups. I want to make sure that I have some small wedges cut to level the wing. Take some scrap half-inch or whatever, and cut them into a wedge shape like this so you can level the wing. We'll have those handy. Let me get one more cut. We definitely don't want to. We definitely need enough pieces for that. Okay, I got 4 of those, and we can begin now. Now, as far as the fit goes, as I told you, I changed the way that this was done. This piece here, right here, glues up on the wing to transfer the vibration into the wing. And believe me, it did take some time to get this to fit perfectly. But I have the center lines drawn on there. Make sure that they made up, and they do. We have one chance to do this, so it has to be right. So I put wax paper down because there's going to be some glue that's going to fall onto the glass. I put it back up into my fixture here. it's right on the center line. So let's mix up some epoxy. The rest of this will be glued with white glue, the back half, and then of course on the inside it gets the superfill fillets. But we want this engine mount epoxy to the wing. I'm hoping that you can see what I'm doing here. So we'll go ahead and lay in the epoxy. We're committed now. All the way around the joint. Part of doing this job is getting everything prepared perfectly before you mix up the epoxy. Otherwise, it'll be a disaster. So now we take the wing and we center it up. It's on has a center line on the F2. And push it right up to that center line on the firewall. We're going to drip in some epoxy here. I've decided that I didn't have to make up the push rod and do it all at once, so that's a good thing. I can slide it in through the tail post. Okay, now we have to get it jigged up. I have the line drawn on the glass to make sure that it's square. Take your squares and bring it up to the line, making sure that it's on the line. And it is. And now we need to make sure that the incidence is right. So take a square here. Now let's put the back half of the fuselage on, holding it up. Goes on this way. It just slides up in there. Get it on the center line. And it is. Now we're going to take the CA and glue the two fuselage halves together. One drop, we're just tacking it. the fuselage is on there correctly. Now you can go about this any way you want to. This is just a way that I found that gets it square on there. And I like doing it this way, but you don't have to. Now, for the leveling blocks that I was talking about. So, we'll take and make a mark up here. Leading edge. That's it. It's in there. We just need to let it dry now, about 15 minutes. And we'll take it out of the jig. So, that's it. We'll be back in 15 minutes. Well, I've taken it off the glass. Been about a half an hour. And now you need to check your work. And if you jigged it correctly, this fuselage top and bottom should fit on perfectly. And it does on both sides. So that's the top. Now we'll check the bottom. And if it doesn't, you're going to have to adjust it accordingly so that it does fit perfectly. But I'm pretty confident with the method that I use that it will fit on perfectly. And it does. It's perfectly on there straight. So that's my jigging method on how I true up the fuselage. And we're not going to glue any of the top and bottom on yet until we get the tail wheel in. And the reason we have to get the tail wheel in, it has to go in before the elevator stabilizer. So I can put the bolt in that. So we'll get the tail wheel mounted, and then get the elevator stabilizer in it, and we should be good to go. Of course, we have to still make up a push rod. I'm not thinking that we're going to get too far today because there's just so many little things to do. Let's see what how the initials came out. How much sanding I'm going to have to do. It's pretty close, the the elevator on there. So let's take it together and see what it looks like. Taper together. It feels pretty light. That's all I can hope for. Put the cowl on it. I'd like to see how much it weighs. We're not far now. The reason I'm doing these videos is to show you, like I said, this stuff is just not all that difficult. Not as what the so-called experts would like you to lead you to believe. This is 2 weeks old. Of course, my 2 weeks is probably a month, or maybe 2 for some, because I do put in the time. See what she weighs. Make sure that it's all on there right. Put one more piece of tape on the bottom. Has a very, very shapely fuselage. It's just something I like to do, to sit back and get a vision of what she's going to look like. See if I did my job right. Two weeks time, it's all together. Someday I'll get to go to VSC, maybe. That's pretty close, pretty close. let's get a weight on this airplane. Probably around 20 ounces. 642 grams. So let's see what that is. $22 ounces. Not bad. Not bad at all. So we'll be around the 25 ounce mark. Finished with the push rod in there. Less the wheels, so let's say 22, 23, 23, 25. 25 ounces. 27 ounces ready to paint, including the wheels and everything. That's decent. We're under 30. We don't have as much hardware to put in this airplane. So it should be around 45 ounces when it's finished. So for this tape, I think I'm going to edit the tape up and post this up on Control Line Craftsman. This tape includes days 13 or 12, 13, and 14. And we'll see you on the next one. Tight lines.